It's undoubtedly clear that renovations in Dubai are becoming extremely popular. The demand for turnkey luxury properties is going up and up all of the time. And we're seeing it across the board, you know? The need and desire to live in these great locations for these properties that just are not suited to a massive part of the audience, such as Europeans, Americans, and the Western culture. So that's why this business is becoming so lucrative. And today we are joined by Craig. Now, Craig is a co-worker of mine and a luxury property specialist, and we've got some very interesting questions to ask him. So the first question, well, first of all, Craig, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me, Joe.
Tell me, Craig, first of all, when you're dealing with these end users, these buyers that want these turnkey properties, right? Tell me, what is it that they are looking for in particular?
For example, over the last while in Dubai, you're seeing a huge demand for turnkey homes on the Palm Jumeirah, Emirates Hills, even like smaller communities like Jumeirah Islands, Jumeirah Park. They're looking for a family home where they can just come in, drop their bags, and that's it. Because you see this huge influx of wealth that's coming into Dubai, and they want to live in a prime location, but they want a turnkey home. They want luxury.
Absolutely.
I would say that falls into maybe two different brackets as well. You've got obviously ultra luxury, and then you've got like luxury, but then you've also got like a really, really nice refurb family home. I suppose three different brackets that you could probably put them into.
Yeah, and I could say what they are. For example, we've got springs, springs and townhouse communities.
Yeah.
Townhouse communities, like I said, springs. You've got.
I mean, you've had a lot going on in springs, haven't you?
I mean, yeah, like I've made videos on the springs, but literally every week after I've made that video, like prices have gone up like 100, 200k. It's gone insane. It's extremely difficult now to even find something worth doing, which is just mad.
I think the return on investment there is probably came and gone, has it? Well, you can still make some money, but
the problem you've got is you're not going to get any distressed deals because the demand is so high.
Correct.
It's like missing the boat out on Jumeirah Islands. You know, this time 2 years ago, or I'd say 1.5 years ago, I offered somebody a lake villa. I think it was an entertainment villa in the Jumeirah Islands district, and they got offered it for 8 million dirhams.
Wow.
1 year after, if he'd have done nothing to it, he'd have sold it for 15, 16.
Crazy.
Insane.
Even buying it right now at maybe 15, 16, you can still make a healthy profit after a renovation in Jumeirah Islands.
Well, yeah.
Because of the location.
So yeah, exactly. So we break down those categories. We've got like the springs, we've got like Arabian ranches too, some parts of Arabian ranches with townhouses. I guess you've got Damac Hills, but I'm not really seeing many transactions happen over there, like to actually do renovations.
Well, I think you know, touching on what I said was the renovation space. People want, you know,
Prime locations.
Prime locations, and what's happening in Dubai is you're seeing, you know, an urban sprawl, and you're seeing these new communities that are, you know, becoming to fruition just that bit further out, and they don't want this. So they want the turnkey homes that are like close to the marina, close to downtown, close to the beach, and that's why all these you know, these prime locations are working out best.
Absolutely, I agree. And then like we've got the next category up, which I'd say is probably Jumeirah Park, and I'd say maybe Jumeirah Park and Meadows kind of fall into the same category slightly. I'd say Jumeirah Park is below Meadows.
Beautiful family homes.
Yeah, I'd say Jumeirah Park is like it's like that middle level of luxury.
Correct.
But then it's almost like so like springs and townhouses, I'd say. I say at the bottom, but they're definitely not at the bottom in terms of
entry level.
Entry level, you know, like I said, townhouse for someone who wants to spend maybe like 4.5, 5 million on a product that's like the end product, and it's going to be beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Then you've got, you know, your Jumeirah Park. Once they're renovated, you know, you're looking at somewhere upwards of 10 million or more, or somewhere at least close between 8 and 12. Jumeirah Islands, what we're talking now for a renovated.
Depending on the size, but you're talking in like what,
20?
Yeah, mid-20s.
Yeah,
mid-20s for a nice one. Then, you know, some of the bigger ones go up to like what, just over 30, mid-30s.
Yeah, exactly. And then you've got like I'd say just under Jumeirah Islands, you've got Meadows as well. Like we've seen a lot of those transact around 10 to 12.
Yeah.
And then even some in the Arabian ranches as well. But then when we start branching into like that, like high 20s, we're going to look at Al Barari. It's a good example.
Yeah, for sure. Or Dubai Hills.
And Dubai Hills, yeah.
I mean, if you look at Dubai Hills at the moment, it is like the villa communities. It is a construction site. You know, see all these
Custom
fairways,
builds.
Parkways, custom builds.
Insane, isn't it?
So much going on there. I mean, Dubai Hills is a hot spot. If you look at the prices, how much they've jumped in the last few years, it's bizarre.
Dubai Hills blows my mind in terms of what it's doing. You know, I love Dubai Hills. Don't get me wrong, but I still think there are nicer communities out there.
I agree.
You know, when I say nicer, I guess I just mean more matured, because I don't think you know, like the meadows and stuff is more aesthetic than Dubai Hills by any means, because, you know, you've got the old Arabic yellow style villas, and then Dubai Hills, obviously, you've got, you know, your white sort of like cornered off villas. The villas look nicer from an aesthetic point of view, but places like the meadows and the springs have had a lot more time to mature, and they've got a lot more greenery, and it feels much more like a, you know, like you're actually in like a very green natural community rather than a bit like there's a planted palm tree, you know.
I think in Dubai Hills, what's probably drove the price up as well is the location. It's a great location.
Oh, it's so good, isn't it?
I mean, you're so good to you're so close to downtown. You're right on Sakim. You're for 5 to 10 minutes from the beach, and then the mall. The mall is.
I wouldn't say 5 minutes. 5 minutes from the beach. let's not sell it that hard.
On a good day. By the way, I don't even sell Dubai Hills.
No. I'd say like you like no traffic Sunday evening, 10, 15. Yeah. But like you said though, like even in like rush hour time and stuff like that, it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the mall there is arguably probably.
It's my favourite mall.
The best mall in Dubai.
Definitely my favourite mall, Dubai Hills.
Easy to navigate. Don't get lost. I know where I park my car. I know how to find my car.
Yeah.
And it has all the shops I shop in. So for me, it's.
Couldn't agree more. But then again, when we go up from that Dubai Hills, then I'd say we start looking at Palm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, do you think we go to Palm after Dubai Hills?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can pick up garden homes in the Palm in your like late 20s, like 26.
Well, yeah, but like we're talking here now, like for the non-renovated ones. So like obviously,
I'm talking non-renovated.
Yeah. I mean, Dubai Hills, like for that sort of like 18 to 20 million, 25 million, potentially even 30 million, you're getting something that's fully renovated.
Yeah.
You know, but then Palm Jumeirah, you're just getting something that's not been touched.
Not being touched.
No,
yeah.
because then the resale value of these starts creeping up. I mean, we've seen some. Did you see the signature villa that was just sold? I think it was like this week, 128 million.
Yeah, that was an Alpago. Yeah.
Was that the Alpago one?
Yeah, Alpago.
But
was it?
These are all the indicators to say that, you know, people are scared. I guess, you know, like what if we do this? You know, it's a hell of a lot of money to get into the market. But are there buyers? There are buyers.
There's a hell of a lot of buyers. I mean, if you just look at the news headlines, you're seeing hedge funds set up here. You're seeing ultra high net worth from Pakistan, India. You're seeing a lot of Americans come here now. Everybody is relocating here now. Why? You know, everybody knows why. I don't need to go into the whys, but it's constantly driving the market price up. So, and it's not slowing down. It's definitely not going to slow down. I don't see it slowing down.
No. One interesting thing, we saw a prediction. I believe it was at one of these the ceremonies yesterday. There was a property market prediction. I think with Lewis Alsop and a few other big names in the industry.
Okay.
And they were talking about they might see a slowdown in branded residences and you know, like luxury the luxury launches. And I appreciate that because I guess when it comes to like luxury off-plan launches, you have to wait a long time.
Yeah.
And I guess now that space got really competitive really quick because you had the Omniat buildings, then you had the Armani launches, then you had like, you know, like the Bugatti.
I was actually only
Bugatti.
listening. Yeah, I was listening to the Also podcast, and I think in Dubai, I can't remember the exact figures on it. It was like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. There was only like 3 branded residences in total in Dubai, and now there's like 56 or 50 something plus. Like that is crazy.
I know. And to be honest, what I see is that, you know, everyone like brokers, right? All the brokers wanted a piece of that luxury market because they knew they could make a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
And then you also had the developers that had that same mindset, right? There's clearly a lot of buyers. So even like developers that like Bugatti, they only developed like very much budget projects for a long time. Now they're collaborating with Jacob & Co, Bugatti and Mercedes-Benz. So they're all obviously trying to get a piece of that market. We're seeing tons of these new developments, right? But then I still think though, the turnkey properties in the renovation space, there is a huge lack of them. And I'm sure you agree, right? You know, we see people renovate or fully upgrade the villas. How bad are they?
That's why there's such a gap in the market at the moment. I was actually only speaking to my friend. He's actually from Dublin also, and he got a company. I won't name the company, but he got them in to do a renovation on his apartment in the marina, and they done such a bad job.
Really?
Crazy. Like, I couldn't even believe it. Bizarre. So I think there's such a gap in the market as well for someone to come in and do some of these good projects. And don't get me wrong, there's some really, really good developers and some good renovation companies out there who are doing some smashing work. But, you know, there is a gap in the market, and with the demand compared to the supply, there's opportunity there for everyone.
Yeah, and I'll give you a prime example, right? So whenever we're doing our feasibility studies,
Yeah.
naturally we're going to look at the transactions in the area.
Correct.
Okay, but the problem you've got is that if you expect, to buy a property at let's theoretically say 3.5 million, okay, and we assume that we can get around that 4.5, 5 mark, or let's say 5. The problem we've got, if there's only like a couple of transactions at that 5, people are like, oh no, there's not enough transactions at that. But then we go into the Springs and we see quite a lot of transactions happening. But what does that do? If you're going into a very very busy area where you will naturally see those higher transactions, it means that the sellers know that those transactions exist.
Yeah.
So therefore, the standard villas, just like it happened in Jumeirah Island, the standard villas then go up a massive jump. In the Springs now, we were looking, a couple of months ago, we were seeing like 3.3, 3.2, for a good unit. Now you're looking at 4.2. Now you're looking at 4.2 with a maximum resale of maybe 4.8, 5 million. Once you've renoed it, okay, that would be perfect for an end user, but as an investor, you might be looking at 6, 7%, but after spending almost £1 million.
Yeah.
Come on, it's not really worth your time, is it?
Not at all.
Unless you're going for a mortgage and you're looking at the return on equity, which I think strongly, if you are looking at doing a renovation flip and you can get a mortgage, you need to do it. If you're going to start around that smaller 3, 4, 5 million mark, you need to be looking at your return on equity rather than your return on investment.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good way of looking at it if you want to get your foot in the door. I mean,
Yeah.
like an entry level development in the Springs, mortgage, make a small flip, and especially if it's your first development, you want to find out what works, what doesn't. Building your team. I mean, building your team is so important. You need to have the right contractors. You need to have the right designers. All these brokers. Not only the real estate agents. Mortgage brokers and everything else that comes around it. You need to have the right team in place that when it comes around, you can tackle that and finish in it efficiently, finishing it on time so you can get it out and on to the next.
No, I totally agree because we spent so much time trying to weed out anyone who didn't perform well enough for us in terms of our team. So, we narrowed down the types of contractors we use because we're not going to use one contractor for an apartment or a Springs villa that would do. Then you've got your BCIs or your Sherwells who are going to go into your Palm villas. They wouldn't even look at that, you know what I mean?
Correct.
So you need to find the right balance. And it took time for us to actually build that confidence in who we're going to use and everything like that. But now we can successfully say, we've got a very good, flow with everything we've got. And I always say this, I don't shop around. I hate shopping around. People who shop around, should we compare with all these people? No, you want to be going with someone that can trust with the quality. Even if it is that bit more expensive, you know that you're going to get a good product because that will come round and bite you in the arse if you don't do that and you go for the cheapest option. And of course, as well, with us, using certain mortgage brokers and, whether that's currency exchange people, I always like to keep everyone in-house and I like to build that relationship.
Correct.
Regardless, the services that we use and stuff like that are a bit more expensive. It doesn't matter because for me...
You get what you pay for.
Yeah, for me, it's if somebody comes to me, they need to put the trust into me. They've reached out to me. So first of all, they probably will build the trust with me. Then they need to trust that I have the right team, which I do and I've built. And then after that, everything becomes seamless. And then after it, they're like, wow, that was pretty easy. Let's go again.
Yeah. So where do you see yourself now in the renovations or the development space, Joe? I know you've been dipping your toe in the water.
Yeah, for
you've
sure.
got some bits going on.
We've got a few projects ongoing now. We're doing some exciting things in Jumeirah Golf Estates, Arabian Ranches, and Meadows. And going forward, for me, this started out as a bit of a passion project. Getting into this space.
Same as me, it's a passion for me.
Yeah, I admire all my investors who are purchasing and trusting me to buy off-plan and stuff like that, and I still strongly believe in the off-plan market, and I will still continue to work and find my investors the best deals. But still, I want to, get in the thick of it a little bit. You got to imagine I've only necessarily sold a lot of off-plan, so I'm not really doing even viewings.
Yeah.
So I want to get stuck in. I'm happy to put a fucking hard hat on and start knocking walls down. That's what I want to do.
Get the sledgehammer out.
Yeah, and especially just, I was saying this on one of my other videos. We're actually, offering people we're not just making the investors money, but we're giving people genuinely good family homes, not crappy low quality developments.
Yeah.
Small white.
That's what I was talking about in terms of tiers as well. Because. A family that comes in and wants to buy a renovated turnkey home is not going to like these ultra luxury homes. What I've kind of seen in the market recently is some developers have been going OTT. Don't get me wrong, the developments are amazing, but there's too many sharp corners, there's too many sharp edges, You know, the stairs
prime
might be
example,
a bit dangerous.
yeah.
And like, let's be honest, your average German family with 3 kids, it's not going to be suitable because one of them is 6 months and they're running around. You know, it's probably more of a health hazard rather than anything else. So
Yeah.
that's why there's so many different tiers. You know, what were you
Yeah.
going to say?
So what I was going to say was just a prime example of that, the Emirates Hills Villa, the Gold Villa.
Yeah,
It's been on the market for over a year and a half.
correct.
It's insane.
Yeah,
But it's got like 0.001% of the population would own that villa. I love it.
yeah,
I don't know. I would just give it to me. I'd live in it. But I mean, I guess, you know, if you look at it from like what else is on the market, you know, again, just that minimalistic, like earthy contemporary tones and stuff that people really want, you know,
correct.
they're probably going to choose that first.
I think it boils down to it as well the area you're going to do the development in as well, of which would kind of target which, you know, target market you're looking at. Or
Well, yeah.
Is the family going to move in here? Am I going to get a ultra high net worth individual wealthy person going to live here, like for example the Palm, or you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, you're totally right. Like the Emirates Hills community is, you know, it's a lot of like Indian and Pakistani families, and it's like of a very high net worth, but like, you know, families that are like buying it in for the community. Palm Jumeirah, yes, can be families, but can also very much be your young billionaires, you know, that want to live on the ocean. You know, so your target, I'd say your demographic on the Palm is actually a lot bigger.
Yeah,
That's
For
why we're
sure.
seeing so many high transactions there, right?
yeah.
And it's not slowing down.
No, it's not. I mean, the record was broke recently by BCI Development to 55 million, I believe.
Yeah.
For in the end, I'm not sure what the end figure was, but a garden home. I mean, it's bizarre. Beautiful home.
Absolutely. And before we wrap this video up, Craig, what would you tell anybody that's considering getting into the renovation space? What's your one bit of advice that you're going to give them today?
My one bit of advice for anyone getting into the renovation space would be to do your market study, your feasibility studies. Check the area that you're going to do the development in. Who's your target audience? Is it going to be a family? Is it going to be ultra high net worth individual? Are you going to do it, you know, ultra luxury? Find everything out from start to finish. Run your figures. You know, in the development space, the most important thing in this game is getting your figures right. You know, at the end of the day, you are an investor. So get your figures right. Then look at everything that comes around it. Get the right team in place. Make sure you have a good team in place, and you can finish the project time efficiently. And then the rest should be history.
And that was one big bit of advice from the Mr. Craig himself. But of course, if you don't want to do that or you don't know how to do that, well, guess what? You've came to the right place and we can assist you on that. And we can assist you actually doing all of what Craig just said so you don't have to, so that we can give you the opportunity to invest in this thriving market. And all you need to do for that is book a free call below. How easy is that? I'm literally giving you it on a plate. All right? Well, thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.